and the governor for the great people of Nakuru County is gracious enough to host us, and thanks for making time for us, Honorable Lee Kinyanjui.
Thank you very much.
Let's start from right there, the Urban Enforcement Notice Plan. I was speaking to some of your people out there in the county, and they're saying that they've not been given enough time and they want to be probably compensated. Is that even an option?
First, may I take this opportunity to welcome NTV to Nakuru and to say that indeed we are honored to have you in Nakuru. On the issue of the Urban Enforcement Plan, I think what we're simply trying to work on is that urban centers in Kenya have over the years been left to really grow on their own without adequate planning, without people working by the laid down regulations. And therefore we thought about 3 months ago that we need to put everything in black and white and give people adequate time to comply. Well, it is true that many may not have complied by the set date, but I think the important thing is that there is a conversation that we need to change how our town looks. And some of the things we had included that we would want to have some of our taxis in Nakuru, for example, have all one color so that if a visitor comes to Nakuru, they can be able to see some orderliness. If you're talking of pavements within the main CBD, we had also said we don't have it paved so that there's cabro and there's adequate greening so that you don't just turn the whole town into a concrete jungle. So I think these are really good things that will make our town look progressive and look friendly. Also walkways.
But the main complaints that got governor was from the people whose kiosks are being moved. They keep saying that they need to be compensated. Is that an option?
Well, on the issue of kiosks, I think it's good to be very candid that we have had a major problem with the drainage. If you recall, just 3 months ago, we lost people here. And when you want to make the drainage or to want to make the trenches where the water will go through, you find that people have built on those areas. So again, you cannot complain that you want good drainage and then the same place where you want to do the trenches has already been occupied in way of kiosks and all these other things. So I think we will have to make a difficult choice between having proper drainage, or if we don't have it, then we risk having our town being completely unusable, and destruction of life and property can come when the floods come. And I think it's also good to know, like especially for Nakuru town, we are really on a hill. The gradient is such that if we don't manage our drainage, the waters can come and sweep even buildings in town. So we will try and do what is best in terms of mitigating suffering by the traders, but I think it is also important that they appreciate that the issue of drainage is one that we must address conclusively.
All right, Governor, one of the other things that came up when I was interacting with your people was the issue of title deeds. There's a group there, Nyakinywa women group members, they say they've been waiting for their title deeds for quite a long time now. What's the hold up?
Yeah, thank you. I think first I would want to thank the national government because we did put a request to them early in the year that we have a massive titling program for the entire Nakuru County, and they agreed to that. And Nyakinywa is one of the many land buying companies that will benefit out of that. Our target is about 100,000 titles, and we've already started clinics to educate, because there are a lot of people who bought land, but because of small disputes here and there, they have not been able to go to the level of getting title deeds. So we've actually come up even with a dispute resolution team, so that wherever we require to unravel all these things, we can do it, and we really encourage.
Hold that thought for me. All right, from county number 47 back to county number 32, Honorable Lee Kinyanjui is still with me. Governor, you're finishing your thought on the title deeds issue, but one of the other complaints was the double allocation.
Yes.
Yeah.
I must say that the idea of having a clinic is to be able to unravel those small little things that have been there for too many years. In fact, we have cases that have been in our courts for like 30, 40 years. But when we go and listen to these people, and many of them have agreed, let's sit down and agree. The little small things cannot make us not complete the deal. So I think for now, the most important thing is to get the people where there's a dispute, we try and resolve that dispute. Where there's a matter in court, we try and remove that. So I think we're trying to work on that, and I believe that before the end of the year, we'll be able to reach our 100,000 targets.
All right. What's your strategy for youth unemployment? That's another issue that came up on the streets.
Thank you. I think Nakuru is just like any other urban center in Kenya. We are having the problem of massive youth unemployment. And I think this is a matter as a country we really need to think seriously, because we have very many young, educated, energetic, and ready to work people, and yet there's no place to work. And I think this is why the government now has come up with the Big Four, which seeks to create demand through the housing. If we're able to implement the 500,000 houses we want to do across the country, then it means we can be able to plug that. But I think at our own county level, what you have done is first to try and encourage the young people to get training. Most of our technical training institutions are underutilized, meaning that we do not have enough students, and therefore those facilities are underutilized. And as a county, we are paying for everybody who wants to enroll at that particular level. Then the other thing is on the issue of training them to be able to participate in both government tenders and also other tenders that may come. Many of them have the willingness to do business, but I think a bit of training is required. And I think for this, we have planned within the month of October to have several clinics where we can train them and coach them and mentor them, so that before long they can also move from one level to the other. And also,
speaking of training, Governor, some of them were telling me that one of the opportunities they have is agriculture.
Yes.
Nakuru right now is one of the biggest exporters of carrot to Uganda and Tanzania.
Yes.
But there's still an issue of middlemen who are reaping where they did not sow.
Absolutely. So I must say, first, when we got into office, the issue of exporting even to Uganda and the other places was mainly through brokers. So I think the first thing we're trying to do now is to get cooperatives, because it is not possible for everybody to probably have the export permits and all that. So we want to get our farmers into cooperatives, so that whether you're in milk or wheat or barley or whatever it is you're doing, you are organized and structured in a way that you can be trained, you can be given facilitation, and also we can be able to do capacity building for you. And that has worked. We have a couple of cooperatives that are currently what you may call best case across the county. And we believe that in the next 2-3 years, we'll mentor them to a level where they can now be able to compete effectively with other commercial enterprises.
And Governor, as we come to a close, what would you want your legacy to be?
I think first it's good to appreciate that Nakuru is largely an agricultural county. And there is no crop that is not grown here in Nakuru except maybe coconut or miraa. Otherwise, everything else you'll find it in Nakuru. So agriculture is our first agenda, because if you want to reach everybody in Nakuru, get your agriculture right, and we'll be able to talk to almost 99% of the people in Nakuru. So we have a very elaborate program on agriculture to help the farmers in whatever they do, and also to introduce crops that have not been there before, mainly like avocado and pyrethrum that had gone down. Then the other area is on the issue of infrastructure. If we want to help our farmers, the roads to their farms must be such that they don't have to pay too much to get their produce to the market. So we're also working on an elaborate program to have our roads motorable and usable across the entire season. And we have a program we're calling Boresha Barabara, where we are trying to do much of the work in-house, because the cost of doing per kilometer and you do it in-house is reasonable, but we'll still have enough also to give the others. Lastly also is on the issue of tourism. Nakuru has very unique features for tourism, and recently we were in Lake Nakuru, and to be honest, we do not have better places when it comes to tourism more than Nakuru. But we still believe that much more needs to be done. The infrastructure has come a long way, but we will be looking forward as we get into a city status to add more, including in the sporting facility, because we would want to attract through sports tourism. We would want to have more tourists here. Then we're also thinking of conferencing, so we'll be looking forward to getting big conferencing facilities, 2,000, 3,000, and so on and so forth. Then through this, we'll be able to create employment for our people, and together we can move on. Lastly is on health.
All right. Very briefly.
Yes, Nakuru serves the residents of Nakuru plus about 5-6 other counties around us. So the issue of health becomes very serious, and it's very unfortunate that maybe for the longest period, very not so complicated things had to be referred to Nairobi. But I'm happy we've been able to streamline our health. Our provincial general hospital, together with our hospitals, now have medicine, and things like cancer that previously there was, once you are diagnosed, it was up to you to go to Nairobi for treatment. Now we have a clinic here doing that, together with dialysis and all these other things. And when we are able to reduce the downtime for our residents when they are unwell, so they can go and engage in economic activities, we believe will make this county a great place, and therefore health becomes a key pillar.
Honorable Lee Kinyanjui, thank you so much for making time for us. And you've been gracious enough to host the interview on the road here. We'll pass by next time as we head out to all the other 47 counties. Thank you so much.